Welcome back, my computer duders. It's actually raining outside now in real life, whatever the fuck that is. You know, it's that place that I leave VR to go to the bathroom in. It's super fucking cozy in the way that it can only be cozy if it's raining and you're indoors and soft and safe and warm. That's top tier comf. As a connoisseur of coziness, that is like the top, close to the top level of comfiness. I think the only thing that exceeds it would be like sipping cocoa in a Swiss chalet in like a ski lodge as snow drifts slowly past the window and you like a really good book. One of those honking big ass cups of like cocoa or tea or something. So naturally, what am I doing when it's rainy and lovely outside? And am I enjoying it? Am I living my life by running around outside, feeling the rain trickle down my nude body as I run from the cops? No. No, friends. I'm here with you in virtual reality playing Minecraft. That's the correct way to live your life. That's the way I like to live my life. And I think that everything's gonna be just fine. That's what Dick Titty would do. In remembrance of Dick Titty, we must always live our lives according to his teachings. He really only has one teaching, and I can't say it here because this is a family show. You all know what that is. You've heard the song. Oh, gravel. Why do I stockpile gravel? Why is there so much? Oh, yeah, because I live on an underwater hellscape of gravel. Devs, why you do this? Why you make the deep sea biome gravel? I can't use gravel for anything. Except making arrowheads, that's all. If you had mixed it in with sand, I could at least obtain glass without going to the surface. If you had mixed in resources, mineable resources on the seafloor, there would actually be a good reason, besides ocean monuments, to enchant your pick and boots for faster movement and mining underwater, but you didn't do that. Why didn't you do that? Your motivations are a mystery to me. Many things are a mystery to me, though, like how come if you put instant coffee in the microwave, it doesn't go back in time? It's instant coffee. You can't make it any faster. Or should it go forward in time? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Some scientists in the comments, get back to me. Does instant coffee go forward or backward in time when you put it in the microwave? Well, what do I need? I need soil. Should I go get more soil? I should go get more soil. If I don't already have it. I need more soil. I need, I think, more brick. Stone brick, actually, because I'm making that second building. Yes. I don't want to waste any grass. That's precious. I can't make any more grass blocks without a soft touch pick. I can't. That's my finite supply. So even though there's so much of it, I don't want to get all, careless with its use, even in the Nether, because I can make free grass blocks in the Nether just by letting it spread to dirt. But I can't get more grass blocks in the overworld unless I have a soft touch pick. Silk touch, pardon me. Soft enough for a man, made for a pig man. Silk touch picks. Purchase one today at your local item purchasing facility. Stores, those are called stores. I just haven't gone outside in so long. It just seems like a terrible dream to me. Maybe it never existed at all. God, I hope not. There were fat people there. And not like funny fat people in Hawaiian shirts who crack jokes. Like the gross, scary kind. I'm not talking thick either with 2 C's. Although that is the most abused word. Curvy was abused and then thick is abused. If your stomach hangs over your belt, you're not thick, you're fat. And if you ever want to laugh and then cry immediately in that order, you should look up Twitter posts by body positivity or fat acceptance movement people trying to rationalize how it's okay for them to... remember how I said there are dudes out there who are super insecure about their height? Well, there are like posts where fat women will say, I don't... Oh shit, yes, Diamond! Will say, I won't date anybody under 6 feet. And they don't see that as hypocritical. They'll say, you know, snarky shit like, oh, a man could be a murderer for all we know, and yet he's upset if we show up and we weigh more than in our picture. Like, oh, well, that makes it okay to lie. That makes it okay to misrepresent yourself, because if we object to you using a Photoshop picture of yourself where you're much thinner, then that means that we're murderers, or we are condoning murder. That's amazing. That's some logical contortions the likes of which Houdini would blush at. Maybe get like a ghostly supernatural boner, which differs from regular boners in that it fires ectoplasm instead of the usual mixture of semen and blood, which I assume is normal. That's what comes out of mine. Houdini, dude. Died doing what he loved. Drowning. No, really, that dude, that was one of my Wikipedia late night rabbit holes where I just accidentally started researching something. And I don't remember how, I think I got to Houdini from the list of unusual deaths, which is by itself a bizarre and fascinating article. Like, there was that Greek philosopher who died because a eagle dropped a turtle on his head, mistaking it for a rock and trying to break the turtle open on it. There was a philosopher, a lot of philosophers died in interesting ways, which makes me wonder if it wasn't just a legend. Died because he laughed himself to death. He laughed so hard he had a heart attack because he saw a donkey getting drunk and stumbling around after eating fermented figs. Anyway, Houdini was one of those just fascinating, eccentric people. Like Howard Hughes. I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but dude, Howard Hughes, what a fucking weird guy. He would watch movies for days on end in his private theater, naked except for a damp washcloth covering his privates. And he wasn't watching like anything with nudity. He was just watching like movies with airplanes. Dude was really, really into airplanes. Okay, like really. Like, if he had lived long enough to see Transformers based on airplanes, probably he would have been drawing weird DeviantArt porn of himself fucking them. If that makes him happy. I mean, he was a major innovator. People like that can get away with being a little eccentric because they gave us the future. They gave us the modern world. It's like if they discovered Elon Musk liked to dress like Universal movie monsters, like Dracula or the Wolfman, and chase women around in recreations of those old movies and then like have sex with them. I don't know, like any fetish you can imagine. Like if he thought hot air balloons were sexy. I'm scared because I'm saying these things as a joke, but I guarantee it's real. Somebody out there is drawing hot air balloon porn. I don't want it to be true, but I know in my heart. If you can imagine it, somebody has jacked off to it. Even you, probably. There's probably somebody else. Not me. I mean, let's not get insane here. Let's not be silly. But maybe you. Somebody out there. Oh, shit! Diamonds! Glorious motherfucking diamonds. Yeah. Yeah, boy! Diamonds! It's exactly how Dick Titty predicted it. In the Dick Titty prophecies. Literally dozens of years ago, in the distant ancient past. You could give me one of those diamonds, and we'll be happily wed. No offense, Skeletor. I'm not gay. Did you just assume my gender? Oh Lord, not this shit. I'm a skeleton. We have no genitalia. I could be a woman skeleton. You're not though, are you? You can't tell. Yes, I can. Your voice. There's no woman who's. Well, that's not true. Anita Sarkeesian sounds like that. I can't eat diamonds. Shit, that would be awesome. Can you imagine what a legend you become if you eat only diamonds for every meal? Like eventually you would just piss lightning and fart glory. You'd be like a Greek god. With your hair gently flowing in the wind, even though there isn't any wind. Just like a fan is set up so your hair looks majestic at all times. Greek gods and Norse gods were weird. They weren't like abstract energy beings like the Abrahamic deity. They were people. They were just like big, powerful, beautiful people. On one hand, that's like not especially imaginative. On the other hand, that's kind of pure. That's kind of pure and naive and beautiful. These gods were just what we aspired to be ourselves. They were just idealized. They were expressions of human ideals, like being a skilled warrior, or being a skilled hunter, or a skilled artist. And they were like, what would the best artist possible look like? And we'll give that character a name and worship it. They were ideals that were like how everything in Japan has an anime character that represents it. Like Windows 98 Tan. Greeks invented that concept. That was basically what their gods were, is humanoid representations of ideals. Really, ideals are kind of abstract. What are they made out of? Having characters that represent an unattainable but possible to conceptualize apex of a certain skill or quality is not so far away from other philosophical conceptions of a supreme being that I've heard of. Because, Yahweh is kind of, at least in the modern interpretation, is kind of a lot of the philosophy that convinces people of it is along those lines of there must be a greatest creature in existence. There must be a strongest and most intelligent form of life, and whatever that is, we'll call it God and worship it. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, if you are the ruler of a desert tribe, and you're constantly trying to expand, and you're running into bigger, more powerful tribes, you're going to think there's probably a biggest, most powerful, patriarch in existence somewhere. There's probably, the world back then was basically ruled by tough guys, so they think there's probably one big tough guy at the top of it all. And in a sense, that's not wrong. I mean, if there's a civilization on Earth, probably there are other forms of life out there. There's probably a most powerful and largest and oldest civilization. There might be a species of like machine entities that is unfathomable, way more advanced than anything we've ever seen. And that could be the most advanced and capable and powerful form of life or intelligence in existence, in which case you could validly call that the supreme being. I think Stephen Hawking was specifically asked about that. They said, well, logically, isn't there a most powerful and capable and intelligent being of some kind? And he's like, well, yes, but it would have had to have evolved. It would have had to have started out like we did. They didn't quote him on that part. They left out everything except for him appearing to agree with them. And they said, breaking news, Stephen Hawking, or was it Richard Dawkins? I forget. So-and-so said that there could be a God, but they didn't say that he stipulated it would have been a naturally occurring species that became that powerful by technological development, by starting out small as something simple like we did, and developing to that point as one of many other species on the planet where they arose. They have a way of only presenting the material that they want to present that benefits their narrative. I was just reading YouTube comments on a video about mud skippers and other transitional fish that are like partway to amphibian. Mud skippers are the most blatant examples, but by far not the only ones. There's also literal fish that breathe air, like they're called lungfish, appropriately because they've adapted their buoyancy sac into a lung and can breathe air. There's other fish that can't breathe air, but they have developed, like mud skippers, in fact. They've devised ways of keeping their gills moist. And if there's water touching the gills, then they can still absorb oxygen into their gills through them, because the water, the air diffuses, the oxygen outgasses into the water in the same way that it normally does. That's how fish get their oxygen in the first place. That's why you typically need a bubbler in a fish tank, because the surface of the water that would normally supply their oxygen doesn't provide it for a large number of fish, only for like one or two. So you need to put it in a bubbler to add more. Anyways, this is a huge tangent. This is not relevant. Point being is there were some people saying, "Oh, this proves evolution," which kind of, I mean, it does look like the iconic walking fish that creationists deny could possibly exist. There's a lot of memes where they have pictures of all these fish dead and washed up on the shore, and they said, proof that evolution can't work because a fish that climbs out of water will immediately die, and yet there are fish that have adapted so they can survive short periods out of water, or long periods in the case of the lungfish. But at the same time, everything is the transitional form. Everything is still evolving. Lungfish just happen to be conspicuously in the process of adapting to land, as well as those other fish. Although if environmental stresses favor them developing in a way where they better adapt to water, and they could leave behind the adaptations they've built up so far for being able to walk on land, that would take a sustained long-term change in their conditions, so it's not likely to happen. But yeah, and there was the usual guy saying, "Oh, this isn't a new kind of animal. That's just a fish. Fish can only give birth to other fish." I'm like, well, no, it's an amphibian. It spends a significant amount of time and does a lot of its part of its life cycle on land. Therefore, it's not a fish; it's an amphibian. But the fact that you mistook it for a fish is just further shows that there are animals out there that don't fit neatly into the biblical concept of kinds that really are in the process. Like flying squirrels. How do you fucking figure? They often ask, what uses half a wing? How could wings evolve? You either need a full wing, or there's no 50% wing or 75% wing that's useful for anything. Hell yeah, there is. You can glide. And it also even less of a wing than that prevents you from breaking your legs if you fall out of a tree. And the thing is, they just don't know that. They didn't think about the mud skipper. They didn't know about the Chinese snakehead or the walking perch or the walking catfish or the lungfish. And they don't see the connection when you correct them. They don't think, oh, well, I was wrong about this, so maybe all of my beliefs are just a consequence of what I don't know yet. Instead, they think, okay, I didn't know this one thing that I was wrong about, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. That just means my worldview is wrong, because I'm right about everything else. And then you show them another thing they're wrong about. They say, okay, I was wrong about this one other thing, but still, my overall, they don't see the pattern that so much of what they believe is just a consequence of what they don't know yet, often because they were shielded from it. They're raised in an environment deliberately to keep them away from that information because their parents wanted them to believe certain things. That's kind of how you perpetuate it. But as much shit as religion gets, it's not even the worst. It's not even the worst. The worst is fucking multi-level marketing by far. And you would think there's no way somebody cares so much about some shitty bullshit company selling juice mixes or press on nails like Jamberry sells, or weight loss wraps like It Works, or essential oil. They care because these companies, in order to keep you fooled and to keep you selling for them, even though you lose money, they have to keep you believing. So they don't present themselves as a company. They present themselves as a empowerment tool, as a lifestyle. A lot of the money they make is on selling motivational CDs to you and tickets to motivational seminars that are a lot like church. Like Amway had to move away somewhat from the pyramid scheme model in the 70s because of litigation. They altered the model so it's still exploitative. Most 90% or something of Amway company representatives still don't make money, they lose it, but they changed it enough that it doesn't qualify as a pyramid scheme legally. And in order to make up the difference, they now have taken a lot of pages out of the book of Scientology. They have meetings that are very much like church meetings, like revival meetings, where there's like singing and clapping, and they make it about your life, about your plan for the future, about believing in yourself and believing in your own strength and your ability to change your future. That's why you always see them posting motivational crap that sounds like it came out of a Hallmark card on their Facebooks. It's because that's what keeps them. They're like, this is so upbeat. This is so positive and optimistic. How can this be wrong? How can this be fraudulent? If this is fraudulent, then goodness and goodness itself is the fraud, and they can't accept that because they've attached themselves to every positive feeling this person has about themselves. They can't conclude that it's a hoax without concluding that their self-esteem is bullshit too. They have to think, oh, all that stuff I told myself about how I'm empowered, about how I'm in control of my own destiny was bullshit too. It doesn't need to be, but that's often how they feel. So it keeps them, it emotionally inclines them to conclude that it's legitimate after all, even when it very clearly is not. And that's the insidious thing about it, is because it gets their hopes up, and it can oftentimes improve their life just because they get less depressed and they start to have hope for the future. But then it's all for nothing because they don't make any money off of it, and they often get very far in debt because they say, oh well, you don't hustle hard enough, so they take out loans or something, or they get family to lend them money. It's fucking insidious as shit. So to my surprise, initially, until I learned more about how these things work, yeah, that's enough. I would have really heated encounters with these people who get really pissed and aggressive and hostile because I tried to tell them, that the company they were in was fraudulent. And when you say that, you're not just saying the company's fraudulent. You're saying, in their mind, you're saying that they're stupid, that they fell for a hoax and they're a dumb person, and that every good thing they believe about themselves is false. That's what they hear, even though that's not what you intend. They become very emotionally protective of the company's reputation as intended. That's what all that motivational shit and feeling of personal empowerment is intended to accomplish, to make them feel like the company's part of their identity, and it's intertwined with their feeling of self-worth. So that's why I fucking hate those things, and that's why if you're dealing with them, if you know somebody who's become mixed up in that stuff, be careful. You can get somebody murderously angry at you for saying even something that seems very obvious to you, which is that those organizations are not legitimate and are not. You have better odds of making a profit by winning the lottery than you do making money on the typical MLM. They don't want to hear that though. They've already planned out their future as a rich person. They really get you to take it for granted that you're going to be fabulously wealthy in the near future. I heard one say to the guy he was trying to recruit, all you need to do now is choose what color your yacht is going to be. Ain't that some shit? So they already take for granted that their future is going to be fabulously luxurious and wealthy. And then you come along and burst their bubble. They're on cloud 9 and you pop it. And it's much less painful to just assume that you're full of shit than it is to think, hey, maybe I got fooled. Nobody can be convinced they were fooled, because then they'd have to start doubting their own judgment. And most people do not don't have an experience until very late in life, if at all, which causes them to realize that their judgment is not always trustworthy. Most people go to their graves thinking that they're a perfectly objective judge of everything. I'm not claiming I know for sure that, you know, this is true or that's true, but I know pyramid schemes when I see them. I know multi-level marketing, quote unquote network marketing, for the same reason that, you know, even if an email is not literally from the Nigerian prince, if it's structured that way, if it's somebody who needs your help move money out of the country and they need you to wire them $10,000 as a transfer fee, probably that's a scam. You don't have to be a genius to recognize that. You just have to, you know, understand the anatomy of these. I have everything, right? I have everything. Now I'm going to go get that block of stone, or that stack of stone. You just have to learn how these scams are structured, why they work, and then you'll recognize that anatomy no matter how they change the details. And people ask me why I have such a bee in my bonnet about this stuff. It's because people I care, who thankfully eventually came to their senses, have been turned against me and convinced that I was a naysayer, that I was trying to hold them back by these hucksters. So for the worst evils in the world, it's a toss-up between either Scientology or Amway and companies of that type. Oh, hello, little dude. You're not going to hurt me. I'll just keep you as a pet. Your slime brethren are out there frolicking merrily. I wonder if you would attack each other. I wonder if overworld mobs or if just because they're both hostile mobs, they would get along. That's racism. That's racism. I'm sorry I said that. Okay, wait. Yeah, I need to go up here and fill out the floor. And I've seen some fucking sad, soul-crushing scenes of dudes and ladies who are sitting there in front of their little booth at like a convention or something with their stupid, shitty drink mix, like Juice Plus or whatever the fuck it is, and there's nobody buying it, and they didn't realize nobody would want it, and everybody but them knows that it's a scam, and they're thinking, I'm going to show those assholes who I thought were my friends who said that I was in a scam, I'm going to show them, they're going to see how wrong they were, and I'm going to be so rich and they're going to be so jealous. And that's the best outcome you can hope. They'll never admit they were wrong, because human beings have egos. I'm not saying I don't. Clearly I don't have the most healthy self-esteem, but everybody has an ego to some degree. But people don't ever, at least not on the spot, they're not going to reverse themselves and admit that they're wrong about something. They have to save face somehow. So when you know somebody who's in one of these and they eventually figure out that it's a scam, all that happens is all that motivational crap disappears from their Facebook. Just overnight, it's all gone. All those posts are deleted, and then they pretend like it never happened. Which is profoundly unsatisfying, given that they were probably very ugly to you when you were just trying to help them. But the point is not to fucking win an argument. The point is to help somebody you care about not lose their savings to hucksters. And it can be frustrating because they don't listen and they accuse you of not wanting them to succeed. And often nothing could be further from the truth. They're pretty high up, those kinds of organizations, on my list of people I would like to gas. I can't legally do it. I can't get away with it. So many things I want to do are a crime. All the good ideas are a crime, really. And I'm not a monster. I wouldn't use cyanide. I would just have a big pipe going from my ass into the chamber, and I would fart out big, spicy nacho burrito chili farts. And it would work fine unless I got a pervert who was like really into that stuff. He's like, yes, more farts. I crave your farts. Oh, spicy, delicious farts. I can smell the burrito. Oh, burrito farts. Oh, so good. Those people exist. There was a talk radio show where there's this bizarre guy living like in the hood. And he made all these YouTube videos about how he wanted to marry the farts of overweight, middle-aged white men. I guess their farts have a particular scent. And they actually brought him on the show. And he had a wedding ring he had bought. He bought a wedding ring to give to the farts. Not to the man. Not to the man who produced the farts. It wasn't for him. But to symbolically give the ring to his farts and get married to them. That was when I just kind of broke. Like, okay, I don't understand people. I don't understand reality. Nothing makes sense. We live in crazy land. He's like, oh, I love your farts. I want to marry your farts. Oh. And I was just... Even 2 girls, 1 cup did not fuck me up that much. Because that was not something somebody did legitimately for pleasure. Someone put them up to that. And I know that was an existing company that did nothing but scat porn, but still. They were put up to that. Somebody paid them to do that just for shock value. That's not the same as an organic, naturally occurring instance of unfathomable cosmic horror. Like the dude who wanted to marry every overweight, middle-aged white man's farts. That was beyond the pale. Some things are just not okay. Some things I can't be okay with living in the same world as. Do I build a dome here, or do I build a 3rd story? If I build a 3rd floor, there's not going to be a room for a dome. But if I make it flat, it's going to be ugly. First world problems. That's the shitty thing, though. No matter how obnoxious social justice warriors are, they're winning in the sense that their ideology and their terminology has entered the mainstream awareness and lexicon. So even people who are against them are now helpless but to think in the terms that they introduced. It just goes to show there's no such thing as bad publicity. If your aim is to make people aware of something, almost any way that you can do that is good, unless it's like stepping on bags full of puppies or something. Although maybe the puppies are racist. Maybe you don't know what puppies are thinking. They could be thinking, race war now. Like, what if an adorable golden retriever puppy was like, gas all Jews? What then? What then? Would you support their adorableness then? Maybe you would. I don't know you. I mean, I want to pretend that we're buddies because you watch my YouTube channel and there's not very many people, so you're getting in on the ground floor. You're one of the original Cozy Bros. You don't know, man. I've seen enough internet comments to know that you never really know who's watching. And I've seen enough videos of strange men huffing farts to know that you can't put anything past humans. The fact that we're a kind of primate is never more obvious than when you look at some of our more deranged behaviors and compare them to to chimps. And chimps do all the same shit. Chimps are just as depraved. They just don't hide it as well because they're not as smart. Yes, I can avoid work. However, I now have... Do I have a bow? If I have a bow, then I have everything I need to slay gas. I'm going to put those in there for safekeeping. Where's my bow? Why don't I have a bow? Oh, I have everything I need to make a bow. That's just as good. Except that I had an enchanted bow before, and now I don't. I don't want to just kill the ghast. I want to fucking curse his balls forever. Do ghast have balls? Don't draw it. Don't draw it. Whatever you do. Not because of me. I don't want to be associated with that. Don't draw a picture of gas with testicles and then say Zamboro put me up to this. Okay. I guess I have to make it. Yeah, I have to make a dome. I have to. Because if I don't, the terrorists win. Fabulous cash and prizes, as well as a chance to go to Maui for 2 weeks. And possibly a new car. A new car. Usually something shitty like a gremlin. They never give away good cars. Oprah never gives away good cars. For all we know, those are beaters, but they're always... I mean, you can't affordably give away nice cars to everybody in the audience. I think I have to make these... No, I can make them... I can make it full height. I can afford to make it full height as long as... Yeah, I can. And since the windows are only too high, it won't look weird either. I've been really lucky avoiding guests. You would think that they would be on my ass right now, trying to make my life difficult. As if it needs to be more difficult. If this actually turned into something that made money, I would be sitting so pretty right now, because I have my fingers in a lot of pies. Giggity. I'm making money from other projects that I spent years working on. So if I could cultivate a YouTube thing as well, and it sounds good, but the distressing thing is a lot of people from my generation are having to patch together income from a bunch of different sources. And as clever and cool as that sounds, it's really a sign of a dysfunctional economy that we can't find good paying jobs anymore, so we have to kind of... Oh shit! Ah, thank goodness for my armor. We kind of have to find a whole bunch of little gigs that all together pay enough that we can sleep indoors. I can't, he's on the other side of the door. Move, pig! Move, pig! Pig, please. Thank you. I didn't know that it wouldn't open if he was right on the other side of it. Fucking pig's trolling me. I've reached a new low. Oh, thank goodness. Glass, wonderful glass. I'll rub it on my ass. What won't I rub on my ass is the question that scientists have been trying to solve for thousands of years. I need to not fucking fall like a dumbass this time. Ah, shit. And immediately that's what I do. Of course. Of course. I can't just have the red archway without integrating some kind of red decorations into this. I just don't know what. I don't know how, because I made it an octagon. It's easy if it's a cubic building. This is going to look so badass. Well, somewhat. I have so much I can afford to do this. Otherwise, I'd be using dirt or something. Oh, wait a minute. I have to... I'll decide which parts are going to be stone after I've done this. I think I have to make these parts stone, don't I? So, you know, what's up with those dudes who panhandle on, like, a freeway? How am I supposed to stop and give them money? And I'm usually the first person being cynical about that, like, oh, they're just going to buy meth. And they are. They're either going to buy meth or they're not poor, and they just panhandle because it's surprisingly lucrative because of goobs like me who keep paying them. But you kind of have to do it because it's like how you have to tip because you know that their employer doesn't pay them enough. And the off chance that they're legit, you can't caution being one of the people who passed by and didn't help. Which is shitty. That's really manipulative. But how the fuck do you get out of your car on a freeway? Are you supposed to just throw a fistful of change at them? If it's moving 60 miles an hour, that's going to injure them pretty badly. Looks like a shotgun blast. Could you jizz out of a moving car and have it move so fast that it kills somebody? Mythbusters sounds, maybe they could do that. Maybe that could be. Nobody on the staff is as good as Carrie anyway. They can afford to have some interns die. When they did that Mythbusters about pressure failing on a diving suit, that was fucking hardcore. Like the whole meat body they made to test the myth got compressed up into the helmet. It's one of the few myths where the reality turned out to be exactly as badass as the story. Like basically, if you don't have a check valve and it's an old-timey diving rig, then the only thing preventing grisly death is the pump keeps running. If the pump stops running, then you don't have pressure, not only to breathe with, but to hold back the pressure of the water. And suddenly you have a big pressure differential trying to equalize itself through the air hose, which means everything getting pushed up into the helmet. And your suit is sealed. It's like a big, tough rubber balloon. So, you do the math. It's not pretty. I'll tell you that much. This looks about right. And if anybody watching this has not researched the Byford dolphin incident, you should stop wasting your time on this channel that's going nowhere and go read about that on Wikipedia because it's awesome. And it's grisly and it was a terrible tragedy, but it's still freaking amazing how horrifying that got. Now this has to go up one more. I think I fucked this up. I think it has to go up one more. Yeah, I fucked this up. There still can be more glass. Or can there? Because then that will be uneven. I think I'm going to end it here. I'll try it this way and see how it looks. I'll see how it looks. I'm not committing to anything. How like you never to commit to anything. Don't start, Skeletor. Don't you start playing with my fickle heart again. Do you have a heart? Neither here nor there. This looks okay. It could look a little bit better, but if it went up another unit, it would have a solid square instead of having an empty space there. But these triangular pieces would go up to a point and then stop, and these ones would go up one more, which would look really weird. I think this looks good enough. I think having domes on the top of both of them. I worry about ghasts. Can ghast spawn in here? I'm just gonna fucking go ahead and put some dirt down to see if it closes up enough space that I don't need to worry about ghasts, and I think it will. I think it will. Wow, the pattern is really different in an octagonal building. Yeah, that's acceptable. I can still get around. I just need to plant some shit and make the other floors. This is far from ideal, I think. But I wanted different looking buildings. I don't want a bunch of square buildings. I already built one just because that's what I started to build originally. And that's what it's about, man. You commit to a mistake. And then preserve that mistake forever. Maybe if I put them the other way. That looks better. Now I have to go undo all the other rows. And they're going to be contrary to the rows in the other building. That's going to bug me. It doesn't matter if you can't see from outside. I'll know they're that way. I'll know it. I'll get over it though, probably. That's better. That's better. I need to get more soil. That's much more comfortable. Do I even need to till the soil in order to plant melons? I don't think so. I don't think I do. Melons and pumpkins. It would kill me to turn grassy dirt blocks into regular ones just to plant on. I'm not going to do that. No way am I going to do that. I have no idea how long I've been doing this. I didn't even set a timer. I'm about to starve. I'm going to finish planting and then call it a day. Or night. I have no idea whether it's day or night outside. I've lost control of my life completely. Okay, I do need to till the soil to plant them. That's news to me. I thought I could just plant them as is. That seems adequate. Yeah, perfectly spaced. So they can all go one way or the other, and they'll have room. That's cool. It means because they're all an odd number. They're gonna ruin the soil anyway when a pumpkin finally grows. Did it just unplant itself? It did. What do you need? Do you need more light? Do you need more light? Is that it? Oh, it is. It's eating them up. Shit, I need torches. It's eating up my seeds. I didn't even know that could happen. They're still disappearing. Can I not grow pumpkins in the Nether? Is that what's happening here? Don't fucking destroy my dreams. I need to make food right away. Carrots. The perfect food for when you're starving to death. Because nobody would eat them otherwise. And I can replant a little bit more of this row with them. Yes, I've filled out a floor. Just you and me, Carrot. Wow, you're really phallic shaped. Wonder what kind of adult adventures you and I are going to get up to. Such as going into the DMV, which is something that adults do. Why would you not think I meant? Why is there so fucking... I understand a little bit of bureaucracy. I'm in the process of getting like a car registration and everything transferred. Like I want people to have to pass a test before they can drive. I don't want to be driving on the road with retarded maniacs. But at the same time, I think there's a limit that we're well past where there's enough bureaucracy at that limit. I know what we have right now is excessive. Am I wrong? Probably I'm wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. But that's what I have. Ooh, it started to grow a little bit. So I just need more light. Light is the problem here. At least it didn't completely destroy the seeds. I just need to make more torches. That's what I'll do next time. I'm going to take one look from outside. If I can find a way outside, I can't do it there. I didn't make any exits. Then I'm going to go look at the oasis, and then I'm going to be done with it. Cat, please. Why now? Oh, cool. I got to get up higher. Growing bit by bit. Taking over the swampy, fetid wastes of Florida. There's the greenhouse. There's the secondary farming tower. That looks ugly. I'm going to have to fix that. There's the main farming tower. And it's cool to have an elevated walkway like that. Have it connect to multiple levels. I didn't anticipate how cool that would be. If I just take one from here, nobody will know. Nobody has to know. Shh, that'll be our little secret. Like that time I went into the Apple store and you distracted the guy so I could rub my balls and everything. Don't judge me. Try rubbing your balls in new Apple products. It's fucking amazing. I didn't bring the soil. Of course I didn't. How's the grass spread? Ooh, wow. It's come a good long way. And I can see grassy edges. Oh, we're in the Nether, and look at how nice it's become. Look at how fucking nice it's becoming. It's going to be nice. We're raising the property value. Well, I mean, not for the natives, but look at them. They're gross. Who cares? Wonder if, like, in 100 years, generations of humans living in nether cities will make movies where it's like Pocahontas, but the Pocahontas is a pig woman. And they'll teach that we're horrible asshole monsters for having, come as colonialists to exploit the nether locals. Probably. Maybe they're not even wrong. That doesn't look good enough. See, that's why I didn't want to leave this one undecorated. I need to figure out some way to decorate that one, because I can't just leave it looking like that. I might use prismarine. Prismarine would be cool to have, or maybe I'll do them all in the gray and red style. I don't know yet. I just know that this is the beginning of something really freaking awesome, and you can see that. You can already see that this is going to be some fucking tight shit. And if you don't agree, then get out of my face. Or rap battle me. Face me on the field of honor, and I will rap such an incredible rap song. Are they called rap songs or just raps? I mean, I know that. That was a test. I'm the fucking rap master. You could even call me a rapist. With two P's. With 2 P's. Oh, he's so cute. I shall name you Jose Rodriguez, the tiny slime buddy. And you'll remind me of the overworld and its various annoying monsters. Nobody stole it, thank goodness. Well, that's it for this time. Next time I hope to grow some trees, make more saplings. I hope to remember to spread dirt to grow the oasis, because I know that's why most of you are watching, not this building shit. I hope to expand. I want to build another module that goes over that way and have a larger and larger colony with more and more amenities. So pretty soon, I won't feel like the Nether's a shitty place that's... what am I trying to say? I won't feel like it's dangerous. It'll feel homey. It'll feel like it doesn't matter that I'm in the Nether because I have everything I could possibly ask for. And I can ignore what's outside the window. That's just scenery. That's just scenery. That doesn't threaten my life. I'm fucking cozy as shit inside. You know about me and coziness, my cozy bros. You know how deep that love runs. Oh, what the fuck? Ah! Wizards! Wizards did this!